I just wanted to do a quick video about starting winter swimming or beginners cold water swimming. Hello, I'm the Dynamic Dipper from Morecambe Bay. We're not in Morecambe Bay today, in beautiful Ullswater. Look how gorgeous that is. Totally beautiful, look at that. It's so lovely, so lovely. I'm going in for a dip in a minute. And a couple of the things that should be considered. So some people have DM'd me and asked, how cold will I get? Will I get too cold? Will I get hypothermia? And the answer is, if it's done in the right way, hopefully not. So what are the right ways? So a couple of things that you need to consider. Some people, to train for, massive endurance, ice miles and things, have cold water showers and walk around in a t-shirt and practice being cold. I don't do that because my core body temperature is going to drop even further. Maybe I'm a little bit of a wimp, but I have my hat, my coat, my fluffy socks on, usually a thermal top, so that I'm as warm as I possibly can be, so that my temperature isn't already low when I get into the water. Okay, so that's just one tip. There's a big debate around how long you should stay in, and that's on the Facebook groups and the Facebook forums and other things. And I hardly dare mention what I have done, what my experience is in terms of how long I stay in, because there is so much of a debate. People say everybody's different and you can't tell people how long to stay in or not. It's quite a dangerous thing to do. So I'm just going to say what my experience is, and you can research around it. Okay. I've swam throughout the winter for 3 years now. For 2.5 of those years, I've done it without a wetsuit. And this is what I do ordinarily. Okay. I have used the minute for every Celsius, for every degree of water. I have used that rule. I'm 5'7", I'm size 14 on a good day. I've got a little bit of chunk to me, so I've got enough body fat to be able to tolerate that. So I start to use the 1 minute for every degree of water when it gets to about 12 Celsius. Maybe a little bit, 13 Celsius. I start to really have that in my mind when I go in the water, so that I'm extra safe. However, lots of people are different body compositions, different, in terms of overall body fat and that type of thing. I have a friend who's really quite slight and slim. He's not able to tolerate it for so long. And so it does make a massive difference. You really do need to consider that. What else will affect how you feel? So sometimes I've swam at the end of August, when temperatures have of course been mild and the water's been mild, but I've still felt off when I've come out. And so there's lots of different things that can affect how you feel on the swim, and it's not just the water temperature. It can be hormonal changes in terms of your hormonal cycle. It can be to do with painkillers, because obviously that lowers body temperature. It can be to do with alcohol intake the night before. Swimming with a hangover is a little bit dodgy. You might feel the cold quite a little bit more. Sleep, how much sleep you've had, what you've eaten, the wind speed, the wind chill when you come out of the water. That of course will make a massive difference to how you feel. So some days, like I say, it's mild and you can come out and think, oh, I don't feel, you feel your drop off, your after drop come quite quickly, and it might affect you a little bit more. So you just need to consider that, and eventually you'll get used to tuning into how you feel when you're in the water. So how do I feel when I'm in the water? Do I feel okay? Does this start to feel chilled? Yes, your hands will start to feel very cold and they'll be a little bit numbish, but how do I feel here? And you'll get used to that as time goes on, in terms of being more experienced with it. Okay, so I'm certainly not saying that the degrees of water, a minute for every degree of water, suits everybody. I'm merely sharing my experience about that. So I hope I've made that clear. What's the best way to enter the water? Certainly not to just sort of jump in and flop in or dive in when it's very cold. So I gradually enter into the water, splash my arms, splash the back of my neck, splash my face and my ears, and then I lower myself into the water. If you are starting for the first time this year, a wetsuit is obviously a good investment, boots, hat and gloves, and you could probably be able to stay in, you know, I don't know, you could start with short dips, very short dips in the shallows, and you could increase your time from then. So you could start and think, oh actually yes, I feel okay, I could have gone a little bit longer then, and you just need to start off with small amounts of time in the shallows within your depth. Okay, in terms of warming up, so when you come out, you get your layers on as quickly as possible. You have that many layers that eventually, if you can't move, you've got enough layers on really. I usually have a thermal vest, a thermal top, and then a fleecy coat, and then this coat over the top. Sometimes I use my dry robe. And I have a hot water bottle, and I hold it here. I've put a sort of piece of string around it so that it just sort of dangles here, but eventually when I'm having my cup of tea, I hold it close to me after I've got dressed. What's the other thing I do? I've mentioned this on other videos, but I'm going to mention it again because when I first started out, it was a bit of a lifesaver. Hot hands. Hot hand sachets, 3 or 4 hours before you're going swimming, slipped into your socks or into your gloves, and gradually your hands and your feet will warm up with the hot hands in there. They'll warm up anyway without your hot hands in there, but it just gives you an extra little boost, and it makes it a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more enjoyable. Please remember that 4 or 5 minutes afterwards, you will totally feel cosy if you've got all your layers on and your fluffy socks and everything, and you're drinking your hot drink, but you will start to feel a little bit of a chill 15 to 20 minutes after. And that's your drop off, that's your after drop. Okay, so if you found that video useful, please click on the button below and subscribe. Next week it's about mindful swimming. So I'm going to go in now. I have a Cranston's pork pie, dinky pork pie for when I come out. They're so delicious, they're so delicious. I'm a little bit of a pork pie expert, and they are really, really good. Pastry is fantastic. So if you're coming up to Ullswater, Penrith, Cumbria area, Cranston's are just totally brilliant. I always get something from there. Okay, that's it now. That's the dynamic dipper over and out from Ullswater. Bye.